Welcome back to our book club. Last time, we explored the first two foundational harms Jonathan Haidt discusses in The Anxious Generation: social deprivation and sleep deprivation. We had such a rich discussion that we decided to break this chapter into two parts, and today we're going to be diving into the final two foundational harms: attention fragmentation and addiction. As technology increasingly competes for our attention, our kids are struggling to concentrate, stay present, and engage in deep thinking. And with the apps designed to be as addictive as possible, breaking free from these digital distractions is harder than ever. So let's dive in, unpack these challenges, and explore how we can help our kids reclaim their focus and build healthier tech habits. One of the biggest challenges kids face today isn't just distraction. It's the way their attention is constantly being pulled in multiple directions. This brings us to the third foundational harm: attention fragmentation. Jonathan Haidt highlights the struggle for attention, quoting American psychologist William James on page 127. And let me read it to you. Sensitiveness to immediately exciting sensorial stimuli characterizes the attention of childhood and youth. The child seems to belong less to himself than to every object which happens to catch his notice. Now, though this quote was written over a century ago, it perfectly describes the modern struggle for focus. Except today's distractions aren't just random sights and sounds, they're engineered. Social media, video games, and notifications constantly hijack kids' attention, pulling them from one dopamine hit to the next. Attention fragmentation isn't just about kids being easily distracted, it's how their ability to focus is being rewired. Instead of engaging in deep thinking, problem solving, or even just getting lost in imaginative play, many kids are constantly shifting from one quick hit of stimulation to another. And this results in shorter attention spans, trouble focusing in school, and difficulty managing boredom. What are the consequences? Studies show that the ability to focus deeply is directly linked to success in learning, emotional regulation, and resilience. Without sustained attention, kids struggle to complete tasks, follow through on goals, and engage in meaningful conversations. So, how can we help our kids reclaim their focus? First, let me tell you a story that you can share with your child, and we'll call it Lena and the Half-Finished Projects. Lena loved starting projects. One week, she was determined to learn how to knit. She watched a few tutorials, got some yarn, and started making a scarf. But after a few rolls, she saw a video about watercolor painting and had to try it. She set her knitting aside, got out her brushes, and painted a half sunset before getting distracted by a new book that she wanted to read. A few weeks later, her room was filled with half-knitted scarves, half-painted canvases, and books with only the first few chapters read. She couldn't figure out why she never seemed to finish anything. One afternoon, Lena's mom sat down with her. "You are so creative, and I love that you want to try so many new things. But have you noticed that you never finish what you start?" Lena thought about it. It was true. She wanted to complete things, but every time she got started, something new and exciting would pull her away. Her mom suggested trying something different, choosing one project and sticking with it for a whole week before moving on to something new. At first, it was hard. She still wanted to try new things. But by the end of that week, Lena finished her first painting. It was amazing. And it felt great too. Slowly, she realized that deep focus wasn't about losing fun experiences. It was about gaining the satisfaction of seeing things through. After you read the story, ask your child, have you ever started something and then got distracted by something new? What do you think helped Lena finish her painting? Lena's story shows how easy it is to get pulled in different directions and how powerful it can be to build the habit of focusing on one thing at a time. So, how can we help our kids strengthen their attention and resist constant digital distractions? Here are some simple steps that you as parents can take today. Number 1, limit multitasking. Encourage kids to focus on one thing at a time, whether it's homework, reading, or even playing a game. Multitasking feels productive, but it actually reduces deep focus. Number 2, create focused time blocks. Set small goals like 20, 30 minutes of uninterrupted focus time, followed by a break. This builds their ability to stay in attention over time. And number 3, model focused behavior. If we are constantly checking our phones while talking to our kids, they learn that interruptions are normal. Show them what focused attention looks like by being present in conversations and activities. Attention fragmentation makes it harder for kids to focus, but what happens when they don't just get distracted? They can't stop. And that brings us to the final foundational harm, addiction. When technology isn't just a habit, but a compulsion, breaking free becomes even more difficult. Let's explore what Haidt has to say about this growing challenge. Jonathan Haidt references Anna Lembke's powerful statement from Dopamine Nation on page 135, and I'm going to read it to you. The smartphone is the modern-day hypodermic needle delivering digital dopamine 24/7 for a wired generation. This comparison might sound extreme, but research backs it up. Technology is designed to be addictive. Social media platforms, video games, and endless scrolling are engineered to trigger dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. Every like, notification, or level up gives kids a small hit of pleasure, keeping them coming back for more. The problem isn't just habitual use, it's that many kids feel they can't stop. This is the great rewiring of young brains that Haidt and Lemke warn about. The more kids rely on screens for entertainment, stimulation, and even emotional regulation, the harder it becomes for them to tolerate boredom, focus on real-world activities, or enjoy offline experiences. So, how do we help our kids regain control over their screen habits before they spiral into full-blown addiction? Well, start with telling you a story that you can share with them, and it is called Emma and the Sour Candy Challenge. Emma had a thing for sour candy, not just liking it, she loved it. And every time she went to the store, she begged her parents to buy her a pack of her favorite ultra sour gummies. The tangy burst, the way her face scrunched up, the challenge of eating the sourest one, it was fun. One weekend, Emma's friend dared her to try an experiment. What if you could only eat sour candy today? No regular food, just candy. Emma's mom agreed to the challenge. Emma laughed and she said, "That's easy." At first, it was awesome. Her favorite snack, no limits. But by lunchtime, her mouth felt sore. Her stomach felt weird. And by dinner, she didn't even want candy anymore. The thing that she had loved suddenly didn't feel as fun. Her mom noticed and asked, "Emma, do you think maybe you've had too much of a good thing?" Emma thought about it. Sour candy was great in moderation. But when she overdid it, it lost its fun and even made her feel worse. The next time she went to the store, she still got her favorite candy, but she didn't eat the whole bag in one sitting. She realized that enjoying something in small amounts made it feel better than having too much all at once. And so after you're done reading the story, you can ask your child, have you ever had something you really liked, maybe a favorite snack or activity, but doing too much of it made it less fun? What do you think Emma learned about balance? Emma's story shows that even things we love can lose their fun when we overdo them. The same is true for anything that gives us a quick burst of pleasure, whether it's candy, games, or even screen time. So, how can we help our kids recognize when enough is enough and build healthier habits? Here are 3 simple steps parents can take today. Number 1, help kids recognize overindulgence. Talk about how too much of even a good thing can lose its joy. Use examples like food, hobbies, or even playing with their favorite toy, and you can read that story to them. Number 2, encourage dopamine breaks. Build small pauses into the day where kids engage in activities that don't give instant rewards, like drawing, reading, or spending time outside. And number 3, teach self-regulation, not just restriction. Instead of just saying no screens, help kids set their own limits. Let them decide when to take breaks and reflect on how they felt afterwards. As Jonathan Haidt concludes this chapter, he leaves us with an important reflection on what has been lost in the digital shift. And on page 137, I'm going to read it to you. There was no wave of mental health and happiness breaking out around the world in 2013 as young people embraced Instagram. Teens are certainly right when they say that social media gives them a connection with their friends. But as we've seen in their reports of increasing loneliness and isolation, that connection does not seem to be as good as what it replaced. And this brings us back full circle. Technology, especially social media, is often marketed in a way to bring people together. And while it does provide connection, it isn't the same as real in-person relationships. Instead of making kids feel more fulfilled, it often leaves them feeling more alone. Haidt then raises a critical question about whether we've gone too far in allowing young kids into the world of social media. On page 138, and let me read it to you, he says, do we really think that 12-year-olds need Instagram or TikTok to connect them with strangers instead of simply seeing their friends in person? I cannot see any justification for not enforcing the current minimum age of 13 for opening accounts on social media platforms. This is a powerful statement. If we know that social media isn't making kids happier, if we see the rising levels of anxiety, distraction, and disconnection, why are we letting them dive in so young? As we wrap up this discussion, let's take a moment and reflect. What small changes can we make in our homes, schools, and communities to help our kids build healthier and more meaningful connections? Let's continue the conversation, and as always, thank you for being part of this journey. Till the next time.